I want to give credit to the Cabinet Secretary for the focus that she's given on the behaviour issues. I think she gets the problem. And it's good to have a new action plan. But I can't fundamentally see what's new. We've got lots of guidance, lots of documents, lots of action plans that's going to be monitored. But I'm not sure exactly what is going to be monitored. What fundamentally has changed? Because there's lots of teachers I've spoken to and they're completely oblivious to this guidance. They've not read the action plan, they've not seen it. So can the Cabinet Secretary take the opportunity now to set out concisely what's different?
Cabinet Secretary.
Mr Rennie for his question. He asked what is going to be monitored, and of course the action plan is going to be monitored over the course of the next year. But let me give an example of some of the things that are in the action plan. So, for example, one of the points that we've discussed at length relates to consequences. There are a range of different measures you can take in relation to consequences in school, and in fact Mr Rennie and I and others discussed this very recently. It's important that the action plan identifies what acceptable consequences look like. That will be a clear-cut example of something that's different. It's not something that government has specified before. The other ask that came to government from the profession and from parents and from young people was the definition of violence. I think we perhaps discussed this previously too. The action plan will set that out. That's never been set out by government before. I think it is important. The further work I think I talked to related to the work that Education Scotland's undertaken, that published on Friday in relation to S4 leaver data. I think that's really important too. And on attendance more generally, where we know there are real challenges post-pandemic, particularly in relation to certain year groups. But the action plan itself is going to be monitored by Sagrabus, not just by central government. We will be held to account by the actions in that plan. And of course, the action plan has been published. I'm sorry to hear that Mr Rennie's constituents haven't engaged with it, but I'm sure as a constituency MSP he could help to furnish them with a copy of the action plan and to share it widely, because it's hugely important that the profession is engaged with this. And of course, the action plan itself came from the profession. They were part of creating it in co-production with Scottish Government and with Scotland's teaching union.